Цього тижня в Отаві відбулися збори постійного парламентського комітету в справах імміграції. І імміграційний критик для опозиції в Отаві Raquel Dancho прозвітує про затримки в імміграційній програмі Канади. Raquel Dancho є членом парламенту від округи Kildonan-St. Paul у Манітобі, де проживає багато українців.
Вітаємо вас, дорогі глядачі, на українській телемережі «Контакт». Тепер маємо приємність поговорити з паною Raquel Dancho, який є МП з околиці Kildonan-St. Paul у Вінніпезі, і яка є представником опозиції в справах імміграції і огорожанства в Канаді. MP Raquel Dancho, welcome to our show. That was a little bit of an introduction, just telling us who you are and why we're talking today. And we understand that you were at a standing committee on citizenship and immigration yesterday. Could you tell us in general terms what was discussed, and then we'll get into what may have been your concerns.
Yes, thank you. It's great to be here with you again. It's great to be on your show again. So yesterday we were at the Standing Committee of Immigration, and we had this is our first opportunity to question the Minister of Immigration really in the last 6 months. So it was a pretty big opportunity. He's coming back in a week from yesterday again, so we're looking forward to that. And I had a number of questions for him. In particular, I wanted to talk about family reunification. Because the pandemic shut down all of the borders about 9 months ago, there's been significant delays and problems and backlogs with reuniting families, whether that's across the American border or whether that's from places like Ukraine with spousal sponsorships or grandparents and parents lottery system sponsorships. There has been a significant amount of delays, and families really, I find, are many of them who call my office are at their wits' end, and they're not getting any communications whatsoever from this Liberal government regarding their case or when they can hope to be reunited with their families. So right out of the gate, I wanted to ask him how many national interest exemptions he's provided. And so you may be familiar with this, that the national interest exemption is a special ministerial exemption they can give to people to come into Canada right away and to not have to quarantine for 14 days, which is, of course, part of the barrier for reuniting many families. And he wouldn't say it. He couldn't sort of speak to how many he had provided those special elitist exemptions. He made his officials admit that he had given 1,300 exemptions in the last number of months.
Raquel, what is the quota for family reunification for 2020? What's the number?
So we're not really sure what the number has been that they're able to get in. So in September, I believe, he announced that he wanted to do an additional 6,000 spousal reunifications each month for the remaining 4 months of the year. They say they're on track for that, but I'm not seeing any evidence of that on the ground. My office continues to get contacted by people who have been unable to reunite for years. So I'm not quite sure why some are being processed and some are not. It's really unclear. And again, there are people outside of his office that have been protesting for over a month, and he won't talk to them. So I'm not really sure why that is.
And maybe for the benefit of myself and obviously, definitely also for viewers, what are the criteria for family reunification? What's the criteria and what's the actual goal or intended goal for that?
Mm-hmm. So there's a number of different processes you have to go through for family reunification, for permanent resident status. Any immigration stream that you want to come into Canada and you're not from a visa-free country is very stringent. And I think Canadians respect and understand that, as do the immigrants that are wanting to come in. There's biometrics, you have to do language tests, you have to do health checks, you have to wait in line and hope that every dot is ticked and every T is crossed on your application. If there's one thing missing, the whole application has to get restarted or is backlogged significantly for years. So it's a very, very difficult process. People hire lawyers, they hire consultants, they spend thousands of dollars. And so, but what we're seeing is since the borders have closed, there have been tremendous backlogs and people are not getting contacted. We've had people that were approved to come to Canada that have not received any communication since the border shut down, but they sold their homes, they sold their businesses, they picked up their lives, and they were going to fly to Canada. And then the borders closed and they've received no communication. And this is incredibly alarming for people that are trying to come to Canada. And frankly, it puts into question the integrity of our immigration system and how much respect it has for human beings. And we're seeing this as well to Canadians. I've had a number of Canadians reach out to me as well saying, I can't believe I was so mistreated by my own government. people who've been trying to adopt babies or get their own spouses into the country, been completely ignored and left stranded often. And it just, I can't believe that this is the immigration system we have.
Raquel, I've heard over time, as the various systems and have been changing in relation to immigration to Canada, there's sort of a comment that whatever is the criteria, whatever is the process, what really happens is this is a generator of business and work for all these various lawyers, processors that have to fill out applications for people for money. If and when you get into a position where you can make a change, is it possible to make these applications so that a simple person can fill them out themselves, as opposed to this being a whole money-making process for a whole bunch of immigration lawyers and government processing agents that basically I personally think shouldn't be involved in this process at all?
I think that's an excellent question, and certainly something that we should be looking at. And I think the Conservatives, what we stand for is the everyday people. And so to see many folks that have to go, as you've said, go through the ringer, so to speak, to get into this country, spend thousands of dollars on lawyers and consultants. And we see that there are thousands of public servants working in the immigration department. All things considered, I would love to see the entire immigration process simplified. I have a lot of complaints coming into my office about the difficulty of use, even of just the immigration website. It's very confusing. The only way a normal person can understand it is to hire someone who specializes in how to handle the website. So it seems like it's made particularly on purpose difficult to manage how to come into this country. And I just find that very unfair. What I would say is Conservatives believe that the immigration system should be compassionate, orderly, and fair. And if we're seeing barriers put up that are arbitrary to make it difficult, well, we can easily simplify that. It doesn't mean we have to bring in a bunch of people. We can keep regular targets, but why not make it more respectable and easy to use for everyday people? I think that is something every immigrant who's gone through this nightmare of a process would agree with.
Okay, Madame Raquel, thank you very much for being with us, and we wish you luck in clearing up this process.